Let me ask you something right now. What if I told you that your financial future is just one idea away from exploding into abundance? What if I said the answers you've been searching for, how to create wealth, how to invest smart, how to escape the rat race already exist in the minds of the top 50 financial minds on the planet? And I got the chance to talk to them. That's right. I've sat down with billionaires, self-made entrepreneurs, hedge fund legends, tech innovators, people who turned nothing into empires. I didn't just take notes. I absorbed their psychology, their strategies, their habits. And today, I'm here to give you the keys. This is not theory. This is tested, lived, proven financial mastery. Let's dive deep into the first lesson, mastering the power of compounding in time. Because if you don't get this, the rest doesn't matter. Every single billionaire I spoke to, from Ray Dalio to Warren Buffett, emphasized one simple truth. Compound interest is the most powerful force in the financial universe. But it's not just about money growing over time, it's about starting now. You see, time is the multiplier. Every dollar you delay investing is a future fortune you're sacrificing. And most people don't realize this because they're chasing fast results instead of consistent habits. One of the hedge fund giants told me, "Tony, people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in a decade." That hit me. You don't need to earn millions a year. You need to automate, invest wisely, and let time do its magic. Start early, stay disciplined, reinvest your returns, and protect your downside. That's what the greats do. They don't fall for hype. They focus on the fundamentals. The earlier you begin, the more unstoppable your financial future becomes. Because it's not about timing the market. It's about time in the market. Let compounding become your ally, and you'll be shocked at what's possible 10, 20, or 30 years from now. The only thing standing between you and that future. The decision you make today. One of the most common mistakes people make when it comes to money is thinking they can beat the system. They chase hot stocks, try to time the market, or jump on trends because someone on social media said it's the next big thing. But here's the truth I learned from sitting with the greatest investors in the world. Trying to predict the market. It is like trying to predict the weather a year from now. It's noise, not strategy. I asked Ray Dalio, one of the most successful hedge fund managers of all time, what's the key to long-term wealth creation? You know what he told me? It's not picking the right investment. It's having the right mix of investments. That's called asset allocation. It's how much you put in stocks, bonds, real estate, commodities, or even cash. It's your blueprint, your strategy, your financial defense. Because here's the thing, no one knows exactly what the markets will do. Not you, not me, not even the so-called experts on Wall Street. What the smart people do is protect themselves against what they don't know. They spread the risk. They build portfolios that can weather any storm. And they don't get emotional when things go south, because they're already protected. Think of it this way. If you put all your eggs in one basket and that basket drops, you're in trouble. But if you have your eggs in 5 baskets and one falls, you still have 80% of your wealth intact and growing. That's power. That's confidence. That's how you sleep well at night. The wealthy don't look for guarantees. They create balance. They mix aggressive growth with stability. They design their portfolio so it performs well whether the market goes up, down, or sideways. Because real wealth isn't built by taking wild risks, it's built by making smart, consistent decisions over and over again. So stop chasing quick wins and start thinking like the 1%. Your asset allocation will determine 90% of your long-term results. Want financial freedom? It's not about the next big bet. It's about building a solid, diversified foundation, then letting time and discipline do the rest. Most people think their rent, mortgage, or grocery bill is their largest expense, but they're wrong. The biggest expense in your life is taxes. And here's the real kicker. Most people aren't even aware of how much they're really paying. I'm talking about income tax, capital gains tax, property tax, sales tax, self-employment tax. It adds up. If you're not paying attention, it can eat away 30%, 40%, even 50% of your lifetime income. And the wealthy, they know this. That's why they don't just make money, they keep it. One of the smartest billionaires I interviewed told me, "Tony, you don't get rich by how much you make. You get rich by how much you keep." That stuck with me. Because average people focus on income, while the wealthy focus on net income, what actually stays in their pocket after Uncle Sam takes his cut. And guess what? The difference comes down to one word: strategy. The ultra-successful don't evade taxes. They use the system to their advantage. They invest in assets with tax benefits, like real estate or certain types of businesses. They set up legal entities like LLC or S or to gain deductions and protect their income. They hire smart tax professionals, not because they want loopholes, but because they understand that the tax code is a game, and if you don't know the rules, you'll always lose. Now, you might be thinking, "Tony, I'm not a millionaire. I don't need a tax strategy." That's where most people go wrong. You don't wait until you're rich to act smart. You act smart to become rich. Even basic moves, like contributing to retirement accounts, tracking your deductions, or understanding capital gains timing, can make a major difference. The more you know about taxes, the more control you have over your financial destiny. This is not about cheating the system. It's about being educated within it. And here's the secret. The government rewards behaviors it wants to encourage. So when you invest in the economy, create jobs, build housing, or contribute to retirement savings, you get tax breaks for doing it. That's how the game works. So stop leaving money on the table. If you want to accelerate your wealth, learn how to protect it. Because it's not just what you earn, it's what you keep that changes your future. Let me be brutally honest. The number one destroyer of wealth is not a bad investment. It's a bad reaction. That's right. The biggest losses I've seen weren't caused by a market crash or a failed startup. They were caused by fear, panic, greed, and emotional decisions. And here's what the top financial minds all agree on. If you can't master your emotions, you will never master your money. I've spoken to hedge fund managers who control billions of dollars. You know what separates them from the average investor. It's not just their education or access to information. It's their psychology. When markets tank, they stay calm. When the media screams it's all over, they see opportunity. When everyone else is selling, they're buying. Not because they're fearless, but because they've trained themselves to respond, not react. One of them told me, "Tony, the market is a device for transferring money from the emotional to the rational." Think about that. Every time you buy high because of hype, or sell low because of fear, you're feeding the system. You're becoming a source of profit for someone else. The market punishes impulsive decisions and rewards discipline. So how do you take control? First, you have to have a plan, a strategy that's built for all seasons. When you know your long-term vision and have a diversified approach, you don't panic during short-term dips. Second, you need rules. Smart investors set stop losses, rebalancing schedules, and investment limits so they remove emotion from the equation. It's not sexy, but it works. Third, you have to change your relationship with uncertainty. Too many people are addicted to certainty, but the truth is, the market is always uncertain. The only constant is change. And once you embrace that, you stop being a victim of fear and start becoming a master of resilience. The most powerful financial skill you'll ever build is emotional fitness. If you can stay calm while others lose their heads, you will win. Not just in the market, but in life. Because when your emotions are in check, your decisions become powerful, and powerful decisions lead to powerful results. If there's one pattern I've seen again and again in every ultra-successful person I've interviewed, it's this: they don't rise alone. Every billionaire, every game changer, every financial genius I spoke with emphasized the same truth. Who you spend time with shapes your mindset, your standards, and ultimately your results. Let me put it plainly: your environment is either fueling your financial growth or killing it. If you're surrounded by people who complain about money, who live paycheck to paycheck, who think success is lucky or greedy, guess what? That energy is going to seep into your own beliefs. It'll poison your potential before you even take your first step. But flip the script. When you surround yourself with people who think bigger, who push boundaries, who talk investments, innovation, impact, everything changes. You rise to the level of the room you're in. And the most successful people engineer their room. They find mentors, they join masterminds, they build alliances with other winners, not to compete, but to grow. One billionaire told me, "Tony, the right conversation with the right person at the right time is more valuable than a year of grinding." That blew my mind because it's true. One relationship can open a door that shifts your financial trajectory forever. One piece of advice from someone who's already been there can save you decades of trial and error. So how do you build a powerful financial network? You start by showing up. You invest in communities, conferences, events, forums, places where people think differently. You bring value first. You ask questions, you listen, you serve, and trust me, people notice. Relationships are built on energy. When you bring hunger, humility, and contribution, you attract greatness. And don't forget this: your network isn't just about people who are above you. It's also about who you're lifting with you. Build circles of accountability, push each other, share books, resources, ideas. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You just need to not be the only one growing. Because at the end of the day, wealth isn't just numbers in a bank account. It's the relationships you build, the minds you connect with, and the legacy you shape together. This one might surprise you, because when most people think about building wealth, they think about getting, saving, accumulating. But every truly wealthy person I've ever interviewed told me the opposite. The secret to growing your wealth is giving it away. Not recklessly, not out of guilt, but with purpose, intention, and heart. Let me tell you something that shifted my life forever. You don't wait to give until you're rich. You become rich by giving. The act of giving reprograms your mind from scarcity to abundance. It says, "I have enough, I am enough, and there is always more." Where that came from. That belief alone unlocks a level of freedom, creativity, and attraction that nothing else can. I sat with billionaires who have donated hundreds of millions of dollars, and you know what they all said? It wasn't about the money, it was about the impact, the meaning, the purpose. When you use your wealth to change lives, you start operating on a completely different frequency. Your goals get bigger. Your vision expands, and the world opens doors for you that never would have opened if you were just focused on yourself. But this isn't just spiritual, it's practical. Generosity builds trust. It builds relationships. It builds influence. Whether you're giving to a cause, mentoring someone, or sharing resources with a community, value flows back to you, maybe not immediately, but always exponentially. And the more you grow, the more you can give. It becomes a cycle of endless impact. Here's something I've lived by for decades. Do for others what you wish someone had done for you. If you want abundance, become the source of it. Give your time. Give your knowledge. Give your resources. Even if it's just a small percentage of what you have now, start. Because when you do, you'll feel something shift. You'll stop playing small. You'll stop waiting. You'll start building a legacy. Money isn't just a tool for comfort. It's a tool for contribution, and when you master the game of giving, you'll realize you were never chasing money, you were chasing meaning.